Good morning. Seems like afternoon. I am Mayor John Halen. I'm honored to serve Ames as your mayor, and it's my pleasure to kick off this ribbon cutting of these new pickleball courts. And before I get started, I see Tim, you just popped in, Tim Garten, one of our council members, and Bronwyn, she indicated she was going to try and make it. Is Bronwyn here? Anyway, she might be here a little later. So anyway, well, this is a great opportunity to offer dedicated pickleball courts to a growing population of pickleball players. And actually, I'm quite surprised to see how many people are out here this morning, but this is absolutely great. Yeah. Our Parks and Recreation Department tries to be responsive to community needs, and City Council is very supportive of that as well. And this project gave us the opportunity to improve courts for both pickleball and tennis players and provides additional flexibility with court usage. It's also an exciting opportunity to partner with the Ames Pickleball Club, and who's provided demonstrations this morning. And I understand that they're expecting me to demonstrate my serving prowess, which you'll all probably laugh at. But anyway. With that said, it's my pleasure to introduce Sarah Cady, who is the Ames Park and Recreation Commission chairperson. She has been a great leader for that organization. And Sarah, I'll let you take it over and introduce other people.
Thank you, Mayor Halen. Thank you, everyone. This is really a fantastic turnout. It's great to see everyone here today. My name is Sarah Cady, and I am the chair of the Ames Parks and Recreation Commission. I believe I have one other commission member in the audience, Jeff Isles. So thanks for coming, and also thanks to the Parks and Rec staff, Keith and Joshua, that are here today to help us celebrate this amazing new amenity. So there are many boards and commissions within the city of Ames, and these provide citizen-led direction and feedback to our city staff and to the city council. There are a lot of unglamorous projects that we discuss in the Parks and Recreation Commission, bathroom renovations, path repaving, erosion protection, things that you don't necessarily know about, but we have to spend money and staff time on those projects. So it is always a delight to be out here for ribbon cutting for a project that has so much community support and so much enthusiasm, and is just a incredible looking project, just an incredible improvement on the existing amenities here. So it is really a special privilege to work with community groups that have a ton of enthusiasm for bringing specific amenities to the city. In my time on the commission, some of those projects have included the Inclusive Playground and Miracle Park. A couple years ago, we also had the ribbon cutting for the accessible boat launch, the accessible kayak launch out at Ada Hayden. These groups provide financial support in some cases, but also just user enthusiasm that really demonstrates there's a need for these types of amenities to create a more inclusive and diverse park system. So, we were talking a little bit before we got going here. It was been great to work with the Pickleball Club. It's great to work with members that know the nitty-gritty details of what would make a great amenity that would serve their needs. And it's also, this with every project, we have to consider all of the needs of all parks users. And so, in other communities, there has been some strife between tennis users and pickleball users. And I honestly did not feel much of that strife or concern throughout the planning process here. Maybe there was some concern from the tennis players, but I think that the City of Ames staff did a great job of taking a survey of all of the available tennis amenities in the city and seeing how we could best share the available facilities and do this incredible improvement of the existing facilities. So yeah, so it's just great to live in Ames. Not every project goes off without a hitch, but it was great to see the support here. So thank you to everyone who came out today to support this. We did purchase a few ball paddles a few years ago, and they're kind of in our garage. We have not used them. So we live nearby the park, and so this is just an incredible facility, and I think we're out of excuses. So we'll also have to demonstrate our serving prowess later. So thank you all again. And next up is John Anderson with the Ames Pickleball Club. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks to everybody for turning out. This is a great turnout. This is just fabulous. So before I begin, I want to thank the people who are kind of responsible from the club standpoint in putting this event on. We've had great participation from the board. Karen Wallene Vogie, she's been involved very much with the prize drawings and with the organization. Sue Cunningham is our secretary. Chris Wilson is our treasurer. Board members are Merle Brendelin and Tim and Kathy Gunlock and Linda Ertl. And who am I forgetting? Anybody I'm forgetting? And Nicole Fascio, of course, past president of the club. And a lot of these people were involved in this project, working with the city very closely with the city. So I want to thank all of them for their work, including Becky Schoenrock, too, who is a past board member, and Galen Wilkie, who was involved in some of the grant writing that we were involved with. So that's just fabulous. So as we say in the pickleball world, it's a great day to play pickleball. Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the nation and a game that can be played by people of all ages and all abilities. Actually, it's always a great day to play pickleball because you can play indoor courts when the weather is bad, and we have some excellent indoor courts here in Ames, like the Harvest Courts. And when the weather is nice, meaning above 40 degrees, no rain, and light winds of, say, 25 miles per hour or less, you can play outdoors, like here at these fabulous new courts at Emma McCarthy Lee Park. So, as president of the Ames Pickleball Club, I want to express our gratitude to the City of Ames, and especially the Ames Parks and Recreation Department and Keith Abraham and his staff for these new courts and for sprucing up the courts at Innis Grove Park and at Brookside Park. We now have some of the finest outdoor courts in central Iowa. These new courts are the result of a great partnership that the Ames Pickleball Club has been proud to be a part of. We've worked closely with the city on this project, and we've enlisted other partners to join in to enhance the courts even more. The club secured a $5,000 grant from the Story County Foundation to fund the purchase of wind screens to go around 3 sides of the courts. And for anyone who's played pickleball outdoors in Iowa, you know that any protection from those stiff Iowa prairie winds is appreciated. The wind screens will definitely help. And I believe Daryl Vagey from the Story County Foundation is here. If he's here, we'd like to express our thanks to you. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. As a nonprofit organization organized in 2020, the Ames Pickleball Club has also received private gifts, and we've worked fundraisers like Rummage Rampage here in Ames to help fund other amenities, such as a permanent lockbox that will be installed here to store equipment like temporary nets, brooms, squeegees, and other things necessary to clean off the courts like were necessary this morning. And we're also grateful for the support we've received from Discover Ames, which provided the club with a grant to make the ribbon cutting ceremony even more special, like the lunch that you can all enjoy after the ribbon cutting. Please stay, it's free. Is anyone here from Discover Ames? Anyway, we'd like to thank Discover Ames for their support of this project. And I want to extend the club's thanks to the founding fathers and mothers of pickleball, the people who were instrumental in bringing pickleball to Ames. Now, many of you know the story of how pickleball began here. The game was invented, or not here, but nationally. The game was invented by 2 families in the state of Washington back in 1965 to give their kids something new to play, something that didn't require all the space of a tennis court and still gave them lots of fun and exercise. And no, the game wasn't named for the family dog, but the Pickle, but the family did get a dog later that they named Pickle in honor of the game. Here in Ames, we also have a pickleball history, one that goes all the way back, get ready, to 2016. That's right, 8 whole years. That's when some people got together and persuaded the city of Ames to paint pickleball court lines on the tennis courts at Innis Grove and Brookside Park. Some of these people went on to start the Ames Pickleball Club, and for that we're very grateful. Well, despite the many years that have passed, we managed to find some of these original people, and they're still in remarkably good physical shape, meaning they still play pickleball. We've asked some of them to attend this ceremony so we could extend our gratitude and to ask them to help inaugurate these new courts. They are Ida and Al Johnson, Ron Smith, Ron is here, and Carol Newman. Okay, please wave your hands and be acknowledged. Great. Great to have you here. Now the courts actually finished last fall. They've been played on a lot, but they haven't been, quote, officially dedicated. That happens today with this ribbon cutting. And after the ribbon cutting, we're asking that these original pickleball players, Ida and Al, Carol and Ron, take to court 2 over here, I believe that's 2, and play a ceremonial first official pickleball game on the new Emma McCarthy League pickleball courts. And we're asking Mayor Hyla to be the ceremonial first server for that game. That will happen right after the ribbon cutting. So I also want to remind everyone of the drawing that the Ames Pickleball Club is holding here as part of this ceremony. We have some really great prizes, including a cruiser bike from Cycle Force, high-quality safety glasses from McFarland Eye Center, pickleball shoes in your size from Brown Shoe Fit, lots of pickleball equipment from Jack's Outdoor Gear, memberships to Harvest Pickleball and Tennis Club, paddles, and other great stuff. So be sure to register at the table outside the courts and stick around after the ribbon cutting for some free lunch and because you have to be present to win the prize. So finally, you might consider joining the Ames Pickleball Club. We're nearly 150 members strong, and we put lots of clinics and lessons and skills and contests and tournaments, as well as support the great sport of pickleball here in Ames in lots of ways, like making sure we have the best courts to play on. So, as we say in the sport, let's play some pickleball. Thank you. And now I'd like to ask Keith to come back to kind of wrap things up. But before I do, I just want to acknowledge one other special guest we have here. That's Steve Stone from Pickleball USA. Steve, we're glad to have you here too.
Thank you, John. And these are always fun events. We get to do a lot of fun things with Parks and Recreation, but when we come to these events and see all the people and know the story behind it, kind of what Sarah alluded to a little bit is a lot of the projects that we do come from residents, come from players, come from people within the city of Ames, and that's how this got started. I remember room 135 at City Hall. There was a contingent of pickleball players coming and asking, could we get some dedicated pickleball courts in Ames? We took that to the commission. Commission was supportive. City council was supportive, and now here we are today. And like John said, these courts were finished up last fall, and I swear that as the contractor was driving out of the park, pickleball players were driving in and getting on the courts right away. And it wasn't a very nice day, but you were all out here, which is great to see. In the cooperation, John, can thank you and all the people that you mentioned and all the club members and people. Thank you for your dedication to the sport and working with us to improve. Because there's only so much money that goes around that we have, and we have 40 parks. We have a lot of different amenities that we have to work on. So we have to prioritize. So when we get groups such as the Ames Pickleball Club coming forward and willing to raise money to help enhance an amenity, very appreciative. So everybody that's involved with the Ames Pickleball Club, thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. So one of the things that I'd like to talk about with the pickleball courts is through Parks and Recreation and with the Ames Pickleball Club, we offer sometimes lessons. I know the Pickleball Club does lessons. They want to get as many people playing as possible. We have leagues, and I was talking, where's Bob? Bob Sill, where are you at? Oh, right back there. So Bob was telling me he signed up for the league, but he does not have a partner. So he is looking for a partner. So he'd love to play in the league, get to know somebody new. So if you want to play, go talk to Bob, but you can always register. We do a summer league, we do a fall league, and so on. John already talked about the wind screens and some of the other additions to the courts. And one of the things that I'd like to talk about as well is just people getting out and being active. You know, whether it's pickleball, whether it's walking one of our trails, whether it's grabbing a book and sitting under a tree, bringing kids to a playground. People recreate in a lot of different ways, and we always just encourage everybody to get out and do what makes them happy. There's a lot of benefits from being out in the parks, mentally, physically, you know, making those social connections, all those good things. So we want you to continue to get out. These are your parks. Use them, utilize them. I do want to say thank you to Mayor, City Council, Parks and Recreation Commission, City Manager's Office, Parks and Recreation staff. We have a great team of people when you look at it all, very supportive from the commission to City Council, and a lot of this stuff doesn't happen unless they're supportive and really help us move through these things. So thank you to everybody there. One last fun fact before we do the ribbon cutting. Okay? Emma McCarthy Lee Park is celebrating its 75th birthday this year. So, May, I'm not gonna see who the good singers here have you sing, but maybe just real quick at the top of your lungs, on the count of three, just everybody say happy birthday. And we are talking. Susan and I have been talking about maybe some other events that we can do, because not only McCarthy Lee, Innis Grove Park is celebrating its 75th birthday. Ada Hayden, believe it or not, is 20th birthday, you know, this year, and really looking forward. Brookside Park next year is celebrating its 100th birthday. So we are very fortunate to have the park system that we do, and I am extremely privileged to be able to be one of the caretakers of what we do. So on the count of three, let's say a loud happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday! All right, very good. All right, so what we'd like to do is we're going to do ribbon cutting. So if we can get the...
Ron would like to say a couple
all right, yep, we'll have Ron say a couple words, and then we'll get people up here for ribbon cutting.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm Ron Smith. It was excuse me, it was Ron Fossey that was the driver behind this. And he got together with me one day and said, Ron, we got to get pickleball going in Ames. So how do we do it? Well, we found a few people that started, and we started playing at Innis Grove and Brookside outdoors, as was mentioned. Some of our early players, Ida and Al Johnson and Carol Newman, have already been recognized. Rod and Jan are around here. Carol Newman, I mentioned her. You might remember Connie Robinson, her husband and son. One was Joe, and I can't remember the other one's name. And I'll tell you a quick story about them. But Ron Fossey, excuse me, passed away about 4 years ago. He would have just been amazed at what's going on here. It is truly something to see. And when we were playing at Brookside, one quick story, and then I'm done. Candy Shanker was playing with us. And one day, one of the Parks and Rec people called me and said, Ron, you know, somebody's selling paddle balls, pickleballs and paddles at Innis Grove, and you know the Ames Park and Recs will charge a fee. They get a certain percentage of the sales of those paddles. And I was dumbfounded. After all, we're trying to do something that helps bring more activity to Ames. And so I said, well, what if they took the paddles and they went across the street, across 25th Street, and transacted the sale there? Would that eliminate any sales tax they'd have to pay to our Parks and Rec? And he kind of said, well, I suppose that's okay. The funny thing was, I've got a picture of Candy Shanker, and she's got a Paddle-Tech paddle in her hand out playing with Ron Fosse on the court. I don't know if it was Candy that ratted on us to Steve or not, but those are my quick stories. It's just really fun to see this.
Thank you, Ron. If we could get council members, commission members, come up, and how about the 4 individuals that are going to be playing the ceremonial first game? Come up, we'll get the ribbon set out, and we'll do the ribbon cutting.
As long as they want to.